Hello friends, welcome to next blog on GenAI RAG driven application series. In today's session, we are going to get started with setting up llama 3.2 on Ollama. In previous video, I gave a brief introduction about what kind of application we are going to build. You can access this video at my X handle, ashokla_x, also in the YouTube account. I request you, if you like this content, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, follow me at my X and GitHub accounts for more such videos. In previous video, we covered the basics of the type of different LLMs available to us and which you should use. In today's video, we are just going to simply get started with the fresh Ollama implementation. So let's head out to lesson number 1. So let's head out to ollama.com, ollama.com/download. And here you will see there are 3 different options depending on your machine configuration. Let's get started with Windows. So if you click on download for Windows, it will download an exe file in your machine. Simply double click on that exe and it will take you to the installation page. Now I already have that, so I'm not going to do that again. It's a very simple installation. Just click on install, it finishes installations. All right. So at this point, I assumed you already have that. So now open in command prompt window. So any command prompt window in Windows machine, and I want you to run Ollama list. So what this command does is going to list out all the models available in your machine. So again, if you're wondering where to find that, so go to the website, click on the models link here, and here you will see the different type of models available for you to download. Since I already have a model available, so simply all I can do, Ollama run and give the model name. So Ollama run llama 3.2. If you click on that, it's just going to start that particular model, start serving that model on my machine. Now, if you want to add that, so simply what you want to do, Ollama pull and followed by the model name. So if you want to install llama 3.2, just simply issue the command Ollama pull llama 3.2. And if you already have that, you can remove it as well. So here, as you can see, I already have the 3.2 latest version, which is of size 2 GB. And let's go run this one. Ollama run llama 3.2. Now, if I run this, it takes few seconds depending on your machine speed and configuration. If you have a GPU machine, obviously it's going to run very fast. But since this is a very small model, is of like size 2 GB only, it's very powerful model. Don't go by the size. So here it runs very fast, and you can ask any question and it will give you the answer immediately. All right, so let's go back and list out the number of models I am using. And again, this is just my personal choice, just my recommendation as of now. Tomorrow it may differ. So as you can see, I'm using PHI-3 latest model, an embedding model, and a CodeGemma model for my coding requirements, for my coding LLM inferences. Again, this may change, so please always go to their website and pick out the latest and greatest model available at the time when you are running it. So I'm going to add this model to my Ollama list here. So Ollama pull, and let's go install this embed model here. I already have that. Okay. So I think that's pretty much it on the Windows side. So now let's go switch to our Linux machine. Similarly, as you can see, if you want to know more about that, they have got very excellent blog series there. So let's go to the download option one more time. And here, as you can see, I'm logged into my Linux machine here. This is one of the Ubuntu machines. So as you can see, if you type the command uname, it's going to tell you it's a Linux machine. There are some other commands you can use to find out the machine configuration. So for example, sudo ls cpu. So it will tell you all the CPU configuration. If you have a GPU, then you can find out what kind of GPU information you have. Simply ls shw. Let me type it right, LSHW. So it will tell you more details about the machine what you're working with. So as you can see, is already an Ubuntu machine here. Similarly to if I want to install Ollama in this one, so go to the download and copy this command curl. What this command is going to do simply is going to copy that install.shell file, the shell script from the Ollama is going to download in your computer and it's going to run it. So I already have that, but a very simple instruction. Now similar command, once you have the Ollama available, whatever you did for Windows, same commands apply here. So if you say Ollama list, you will see all the models available installed on my machine. I'm going to remove the prior version, which is llama 3.2, and I'm going to reinstall that. So as you can see, Ollama remove, and I just removed it. Let me pull the latest version, Ollama pull llama 3.2. So if I hit this command, and it takes few seconds depending on your machine configuration and internet speed again, is going to download the latest model from Ollama model repository. So let's give it a few more seconds. Okay, all right, it's done. So now I already have the Ollama installed on my machine. I already have the llama 3.2. Let's go run this. So Ollama list, as you can see, I already have the llama 3.2 model. Let's go run this. Ollama run llama 3.2. All right, now once this model is running, you will see this, okay, send a message prompt, and here you can ask the simply type the question and it's going to answer that based on the LLM model serving on your local machine. All right. So this is done. Now we already have the successful Ollama running on Windows and this and our Linux environment. Next thing, you need a code editor. Now I recommend two choices. One is the VS Code Studio, VS Code, and other one is the Cursor. So Cursor is more popular nowadays. It's an AI code editor. Actually, it's just a another version. You can think of the advanced version of VS Code Studio, VS Code. Most of the people, they if you already have an API key, if you already have an OpenAI subscription, I highly recommend you using Cursor.ai. If not, then you can always go back and use your VS Code. And even VS Code, you have couple of plugins nowadays which called Continue or Lighter. What this plugin do, it can do the same thing what Cursor does it for you. So again, depending on your choice, I have no preferences. If you already have the OpenAI key or like other models like Cloud.ai or those kind of subscription available, I recommend you using Cursor.ai. If not, then you can use the VS Code. Doesn't matter. They will both get you the same place where you want to be. All right. So here, as you can see, first thing you want to do, wherever you are going to do, make sure that you already have a fresh new virtual environment. And here, let's go open a new Jupyter notebook here. As you can see, this is brand new Jupyter notebook. First thing you want to do, you want to select a kernel. And if you already do not have a new virtual environment, new Python working environment, I suggest you create one. So here I already have one. So I'm going to, start that GenAI. First thing, what you want to do, type inside that notebook, say import OS and os.list directory. So simply I'm just calling the package operating system, and I want to list out the content of the current working directory. It's not needed, but just I just want to show you that you can execute a Python command successfully in this Jupyter notebook here. All right. Similarly, there's another thing what you can do, import platform. So if you want to know, it's always a good idea to know the capability of your machines you are working with. So here, for example, as you can see, I have a simple CPU machine. So, whenever if you're working on alien new machine you are given, so always see what kind of machine you're dealing with. Now I already have that Ollama. So let's go run those commands. So import Ollama. And next thing what you want to do here, again, so we have been issuing those Ollama commands on terminal window. What I want to tell you that you can execute the same command here. And the way to execute those shell command in Jupyter Notebook is just put an exclamation sign in front of your command and it will understand it is going to run that. So, all right. So let's go, we already have imported the Ollama package here. Next thing you want to do, create an instance of it. So please pay attention to the methods available to the Ollama class here. These are the two methods. One is the generate, other is the chat. So what this method, what this, interfaces are going to do, when do you want to use the chat? So if you are building a chat application where back and forth communication is required, please use the chat method. Otherwise, if you are simply generating, asking a question and you want to know the answer, use the generate. So depending, again, you will see the difference once you implement that a chat bot or once you are implementing a question answer system. Depending on your requirement, we are going to choose the method and run the methods based on their requirement. So now is the time we should start building our application. So let's go define a variable called data and let's go define a prompt, which prompt is simply a question I'm going to ask Ollama. So I'm going to write ollama.generate and let's pass the model here. So model I am going to use, again, please go through the, the different parameters available here. I'm just going to say model. And in this case, it could be llama3.2. Sorry, there's a typo here. And then you pass the prompt. So instead of writing the prompt directly into the function, simply what I'm going to do, I'm going to pass this as a parameter. And why I'm doing it? So that later I can use this as a generic function. So now let's go run this. So simply I defined a variable called data in prompt and I passed that prompt as a parameter to ollama.generate function. As you can see, it took a couple of minutes. It took me almost 2 minutes to return that answer. First time when you're running it, please expect it some delays. But then after it becomes very, very fast. You will be able to see the results in a couple of seconds. Now let's take one more step forward. So far what we have done, we have generated content based on a question. Now this answer generated by GenAI is based on the previous knowledge it had. Now what is RAG anyway? RAG is if I want to augment this GenAI with some of the content I'm going to do. So I'm going to retrieve the content from somewhere and I'm going to augment that content to this GenAI. Let's make it clear. So first of all, for example, you already have a PDF. So in past, I have written a PDF which tells you everything you need to know about the data frames. So, and again, this is the link. So if you go to the curl to that particular link, it will download that PDF for you. So this is the PDF I have written. What I want to do, I want to take content of this PDF and I want to pass this content to GenAI Llama 3.2 model and saying, you know what, I'm augmenting this content. I'm augmenting you with this information. Now generate the content based on this information. So let's do that. Now to do that, first thing you will need to do, you will need to read that PDF into some kind of a text data frame. So here, as you can see, PDF reader is again a package here, beautiful package. And all you need to do, pass that particular PDF file, pass to that PDF file to that PDF reader. And let's note down the number of the pages in that file. And let's go create a new text string called text. And I'm going to join the text string. That means whatever the content I'm going to read from PDF file, page by page, for each page, I'm going to take that content and append it. That means I'm going to push that into text string. So again, it's a very simple function. If you run this, you will understand what I'm saying here. Okay. So now in this text string, I have all the content from the PDF I have downloaded from the internet. Okay. Now to do that, now simply go back to the function what we have written. Okay. Now instead of generating that, writing this over and over again, I'm going to simply write a function called def get completion, which takes a prompt dynamically, pass it to that Ollama.generate function and returns the results. Simply is, there's no magic here. What I'm doing, I'm just wrapping that Ollama function inside a new function called get completion. And now it's very simple for me. All I need to do, every time I call the get completion, I can pause the text. So this time, please pay attention to the prompt I'm saying. I'm saying, hey, here is a local guide. And this is, and I add the complete guide here. Now, based on this guide, answer this question. So here, instead of asking a simple question, you are augmenting GenAI with tons of information you have downloaded, and then you're asking the question based on the information. And in a nutshell, that's all RAG is all about. So you are retrieving the content and you are augmenting the GenAI with the retrieved content, and you are asking an appropriate question. So once you please play around with the function, work with the different PDFs, and definitely you will appreciate what we have done so far. Now, as a next step, so far you have worked on PDF. What if you want to scrap an online page? So in that case, let's go create a simple crawler. So what this crawler is, you will need a couple of libraries called Beautiful Soup and Request. So, and first let's write some generic prompts here. So his generic prompts is just a simple set of instructions, and instead of typing them over and over again, let's go create some variables. So for example, user question or generate queries. And the reason you want to do that, you create it once so that you can manipulate it on the runtime. So create those prompts, dynamic prompts or dynamic set of instructions outside as a variable here. So as you can see, I have two variables, user question and generate queries, and you pass that user question dynamically to generate queries. And the reason you want to do that, so that you are creating a dynamic framework function kind of a system. So let's go back to the previous get completion method you have written. Again, I'm not going to change this function anytime in rest of the series. I'm simply going to reuse the same function over and over again, but instead of the prompt, see, I have dynamically constructed a prompt. I'm creating more and more sophisticated prompts here. All right. So now let's go. Next thing you want to do, I'm going to run this again simple. So again, I'm dynamically passing those prompts as a dynamically generated queries, and I'm running this over again. All right, just to recap what we have done so far, we have reused the original method what we have created, and we have created some dynamic prompt as variable, and we are simply passing those prompts inside those functions here, inside that get completion LLM inference method what we have created. Now let's go, for example, instead of PDF, you are working with an online page. So again, I'm going to use a library called Beautiful Soup. All we are doing, we are trying to hack into a website. So for example, this is the documentation for the Python. What I want to do, I want to go to this URL, download all the content. So instead of reading PDF, I want to read the website, and I want to get the content, put it in a file, in a text string. And now this time, I want to pass that text as a dynamic prompt to my actual prompt and get the results. So simply you are creating more and more sophisticated prompts, and which are fully automated. So instead of typing it over and over again, I'm just going to get it. I'm going to scrap an online page, and as you can see here, this is the URL. This is a documentation, official Python documentation, and I'm going to get the text from that website, and I'm going to, once I get that text, I'm going to append those text into that prompt variables what we have created, and simply So let's go see this. So you will see that, like, the formatted search results, you will see that this is already downloaded that content from the website here. Okay, now next step is, now I have downloaded I have retrieved all the information from the Python official documentation here. I'm going to create a runtime prompt. So again, this is again, I format is a huge looking string. I'm just simply what I'm going to do. I'm going to, whatever the content I retrieved, I am going to pass this into the prompt here. So let's go print this. And now simply call that Ollama function what we have created in the past and pass this prompt. All right, let's run this. So as you can see, this retrieved the results. So based on, again, just to recap, we downloaded a dynamic content from the official Python website, and then we retrieved that information. We augmented that information to Ollama and passed it to llama 3.2. And based on this augmented information, llama 3.2 is answering the question. In a nutshell, again, that's all RAG is all about. So in this content, or maybe in follow-up series, wherever I'm going to use the RAG, simply I'm going to use this methodology or these little tricks what I just shown you. I'm going to retrieve it and I'm going to augment that information to the GenAI or the llama models we are going to run. So actually that's all I wanted to cover from the RAG perspective. Now rest of the content what you're going to see in this video, in this blog today, is just an efficiency or some methods I just got it from different systems. So for example, what if you want to create your own web crawler? So I have included, if you go to this web notebook, I'm not going to go through this content again, but what I have done, basically, I just got this content from one of the website, from one of the official documentation from the OpenAI WebUI. So in case if you want to create your own web crawler, please follow through this. All this source code, you will find the link to that source code included in the video description below. So basically all this does is helps you create a web crawler, simple web crawler. And I got this majority of the code is referenced from the OpenAI documentation here. So again, if you go through the documentation, it tells you exactly what it takes to create a question and answer web crawler kind of a system. But again, the idea is it doesn't necessarily mean that it only applies to the OpenAI LLM models. So what I did, you can take this code and you can simply, you have to modify this code a little bit to make it work on your Ollama. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I also want to iterate that if you are using some kind of a code helping AI like cursor.ai, which helps you write the code. So simply, if you are using those kind of AI references, they help you generate the same code. So in some cases, for example, you are working where PDF doesn't work, you don't have a PDF, and you can't even hack into a website because website doesn't allow you to crawl through the system. In those cases, what you can do, you can still go and use code llama model and ask a code llama model to help you write a code which helps you crawl through a single page application, or which helps you write code to read an image. In past, I have also authored one RPA series. So this exactly that RPA series is all about. So in those cases, what I did, I used OpenAI coding skills to generate code for me. And again, you can find the link to this source code into my GitHub repository. Again, please go to this link. And here you will find tons of different examples which helps you write automated code, snippets of Python code, which you can use inside your application. That's all I wanted to cover in this video today. Now we have a successful llama model running on our local machine, and we have written generic functions to augment llama models with retrieve content. Now in next videos, since we already have a basic fundamental structure ready, we are going to build a more sophisticated RAG vector databases. So in next blog, we are going to learn about embedding, token, RAG vector databases, and dynamic queries. So stay tuned and thanks for watching.